What's up, everybody? How you doing? We are still licking our wounds from the end of the 2023 NFL season for the Seahawks. And I got some more stuff that I want to break down here before we move into the decision-making part of the offseason, where we decide who we want to keep, who we want to let go, who we want to forcibly let go of, and who we want to bring on. That stuff is all coming, but I saw some data very recently. This is from PFF. I got posted in my Discord server, by the way. If you're not already in the Discord server, join it. We have a lot of fun in there, especially during game days, although we may not have a game day for a little while, but we're still going to have fun in there. So join the Discord if you haven't already. But this got posted in the Discord. Unfortunately, as you can see, the picture is extremely fuzzy. But I'm going to walk you guys through it, and you guys are just going to have to take my word for it. This is a chart depicting per Pro Football Focus, PFF, this is PFF data, PFF numbers, how effective each NFL cornerback is in man coverage. All right? And I want to use this chart to illustrate a point. And I could have rolled this into my earlier video about firing Pete Carroll, but I just kind of want to make this one stand on its own because this is such a big deal. This is so important that we get this right. And it's right there in front of us and we're not taking it. And if we don't figure it out in the next couple years, this will be a huge wasted opportunity. And the current regime just doesn't get it. So this data is a few weeks old now. It took in weeks 1 through 15. So it's not completely up to date, but this would not have changed that much over the last 3 games the Seahawks played anyway. So the point stands regardless of how things may have moved slightly over the past 3 games. So this is XY axis. The X axis here is yards per target allowed. And left is bad, right is good. Okay? So the fewer yards you allow per target as a cornerback, the further to the right you are. So right is good on this chart. And from your perspective, I'm pointing left. But from my perspective, I'm pointing right. So for your perspective, this is good. Right is good. And then you have the y-axis, which is forced incompletion plus interception rate. And once again, up is good. So the higher you are on this chart, the better you are at forcing incompletions or interceptions on man coverage when you are targeted. So like most XY axis charts, the top right is where you want to be. And this is just man coverage. I want to keep that very clear here. Now, do you see this very fuzzy data point up in the very top right? Do you see this right here? I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Unfortunately, you can barely make it out, but this right here where my mouse is, you see this? This is Rico Wilmer. This is Rico Wilmer right here in the very top right. So let's just look at Rico Wilmer here. He is, according to PFF, he allows the fewest yards per target for any cornerback in the NFL. Any cornerback in the NFL. In man coverage, he allows the fewest yards per target. Literally number 1. And then, when it comes to forcing incompletions or interceptions when targeted in man coverage, Wilmer is number 2. He is second behind only, let's zoom in again here, and again, you're going to have to take my word for it if you can't make it out yourself. This is Jaylon Johnson. Only Jaylon Johnson has a higher forced incompletion or interception rate when he's targeted in man coverage. They're the only 2 guys who are above, I think this is 35%. So in terms of efficiency and effectiveness on a per snap basis, Rico Wilmer is the number 1 corner in the league. Pretty much, it would be hard to debate. It's either him or Jaylon Johnson. But these are the 2 best man cover corners in the league. And it's not a huge sample size, but whose fault is that? It's our fault that we don't ask him to be in man coverage more. If he was in man coverage more, I'm sure he would probably give up a little bit more. But you can't tell me he would suddenly become bad. You can't tell me he would suddenly plummet all the way to the bottom left. No, he would still be among the better cornerbacks in the league in this area. And these are probably the 2 most important stats for coverage. yards per target allowed, he's like at 3 yards per target allowed, which is easily the best. And then the forced incompletion slash interception rate is like 36, which is 1% behind the best. So that's part one of this. But seriously, guys, we have Rico Wilmer on a rookie contract that pays him peanuts for probably one more year. After this upcoming season, 2024, he is eligible for an extension, and I think he'll get that fat extension, or he's not going to be willing to play. So we have one more year of ultra cheap Rico Wilmer. And by the way, this comes in a season where Wilmer had, by most people's belief, an off year. We weren't that happy with Wilmer this year, mostly because of tackling, but he was recovering from that surgery, and he's still this good in man coverage. Let the man eat. So that's that. Then I want to take a look at our other cornerback, Devin Witherspoon, and he is right here. I don't know if you can make that out, but that is Devin Witherspoon. Notice how he's in the top right of this chart as well. He is in the top right. In terms of yards per target allowed, there are maybe 4 or 5 guys. There's like 4 guys ahead of him. Jalen Johnson, Rico Wilmer, Michael Carter II, and Brian Branch. And again, I'm just going to need you to take my word for it when those are the names, but those are the names. So those 4 guys are the only 4 guys ahead of Witherspoon in terms of allowing minimal yards per target. Witherspoon allows about 4.2 yards per target in man, and he has a forced incompletion plus interception rate of like 31%. There are only a few guys higher than that in the entire NFL. You've got Wilmer, Jalen Johnson, AJ Terrell. You've got Cam Taylor-Britt, Akella Witherspoon, Shavarius Ward, Carlton Davis III. There's one guy here. I'm not even going to... I don't know who that is. Sorry, the fuzzy picture has defeated me. But the point is, he is among the league leaders. He's among the best in the league in that category as well. So what I'm trying to say is this. The Seattle Seahawks right now have 2 of the best man cover corners in the league. All the evidence indicates that. We have 2 of the best man cover corners in the entire NFL. And we have a coach, we have a coaching staff, we have a regime that is married to zone coverage at every possible opportunity. We run a little bit of man, but there are coaches out there, there are teams out there that run 50% man coverage. We should be one of those teams. Hands down, no doubt about it, no discussion, no conversation. When you have 2 of the best man cover corners in the league, you should be running man coverage as much as you humanly can, which would be about 50%, maybe 52, 54%. You should be up there with the very, very top of the league. And we're not. We move an inch every single season towards man coverage. At this rate, we'll have an acceptable rate of man coverage by like 2050 when Wilmer and Witherspoon are long retired and their kids are playing for the Seahawks. So, something to keep in mind here when you're thinking about this Pete Carroll stuff. If you guys still don't understand why I'm so adamant about this, why I don't drop the Pete Carroll thing, this is why. We have 2 supreme man coverage talents on this team. On top of the fact that we have other guys on this team, like previously Jamal Adams, Jordan Brooks. These are guys who would probably do better in man coverage as well. Probably Julian Love, too. So, hopefully this helps. Hopefully you guys kind of get it. It's not just about, oh, we lost. Oh, we lost too many games. Oh, we didn't make the playoffs. Oh, we lost in the playoffs. It's the process. The process stinks. We have every reason to believe we would have the most dominant, unstoppable, and dangerous cornerback tandem in the NFL in man coverage, and we play them in man coverage, I don't even think it's 20% of the time. I haven't seen the stats yet for this year, but I'm thinking it's going to be around 20% of the time. We love our zone coverage, and Pete will never, ever be able to quit it. Ever. Not in a million years. If he couldn't do it with this team, the idea of him doing it next year when Brooks might be gone and Adams will probably be gone, and maybe he'll get to replace those guys with more zone cover safeties, and for all we know, Julian Love could be gone. It's not happening. So Yeah, this is a big deal, guys. Woolen has one more cheap year left. Witherspoon has two more relatively cheap years left. Then we get into extension territory, which, by the way, who knows if we're going to even be able to do that? We may not be able to afford it. So we're wasting time here. We're misusing the talents of the players that we have, and I cannot possibly represent it better than this chart. I just wish the chart was a little better represented with the resolution of the picture. But you guys are just gonna have to take my word for it. This is Woolen right here. This is Witherspoon. It paints a very clear picture. We need to do things differently, and we have a coaching staff that is not willing to do things differently. All right, I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. I I just really wanted to illustrate this point here. We have something potentially very special on this team, but with the way things are going, it's not going to happen the way we need it to happen. All right, catch you guys later. Go Hawks, and more videos coming later.